All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Chris Crenshaw, and we are live from the 704 once again for episode 271 of the 815 Exchange. And listen, it was an up and down weekend for the boy. All right. Some of this weekend was great. All right. USC beat Michigan. We're going to talk about that, of course, to kick us off here in the, CFB, segments. That was great. Gen V, yet another great episode. But then, of course, I record these on Sundays for those that don't know. The Dallas Cowboys, man. 1 of 1. All right. 1 of 1. Hey, 1 of 1, man. 1 of 1. 1 of 1. God, I hate that team. I absolutely despise that team. So as much as I was here to celebrate my ops all losing this week, some of my favorite teams, the Yankees, the Cowboys, also took an L this week. So it's going to be an up and down episode for the boy. All right. It's going to be an up and down episode for the boy. But we got a good one. All right, we got a good one. We got plenty to talk about. We got MLB, ALCS has been set up. We're going to talk about a little preview for that. Got some stuff to talk about in the Roundup, in the combat sports world, in the NHL and NBA seasons either beginning or being on the horizon. So we got some stuff to talk about. As always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content. And as always, all right, everything you're looking for in this life can be found in my description. All right, so timestamps embedded in the video, also in the description. Social media, you want to follow my life. In the outro, also in the description. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the positives first. All right, let's talk about the bliss. I'm wearing red for a reason. All right, and that is because fight the on USC. All of the doubters, all of the naysayers, we're talking crazy. All right, talking crazy about my coach, talking crazy about my team, talking crazy about my defense. And you know what? I felt good, even though we were the betting favorite, to be fair, against Michigan. Going into the Collie. People were talking crazy about the Collie. Listen, everybody was talking crazy about us in the build-up to this game. But guess what? They all got silenced. They all got silenced. USC sends Michigan packing back to Ann Arbor, 31-13. It was beautiful. All right. Makai Lemon. I want to start off with Makai Lemon. Listen, with all due respect, the only man I'm putting above, Jordan Tyson's a dog. Carnell Tate is a dog. There's a bunch of dog receivers out there. The only man I will even listen to a conversation of being above Makai Lemon is Jeremiah Smith. And if I'm being honest, Belinikov talks this year, Makai should be at the top. He is the best receiver in the country, not named JJ, but he's the best. 9 receptions, 93 yards, and a touchdown, including the dagger, which was absolutely, again, a beautiful ball from Ivia, who played yet another great game, by the way. 265, 2 touchdowns, had that absolutely boneheaded pick on the sideline, which he should not have done, and almost gave the, momentum back to Michigan, but, defense came through, which we'll get to. But, yeah, beautiful back shoulder fade, and then I puts it only place where Makai can make a play that only Makai can make, and he does every single time. Every single time. I see a lot of people comparing him to ARSB or Mecca, and I think he's of that same vein. He's one of those guys, all right? Do not overthink him. I don't think he's going to put up a gaudy combine, but he is, watch the tape, bro. Watch the tape. They can't cover him. He's elusive. He runs great routes, and he's got spectacular hands. He's got incredible body control. He plays bigger than whatever his size is, 6 foot, whatever. He's that guy. Makai Lemon. Get acquainted, all right? But yes, offense was cooking. Even with Wayman Jordan, one of the best running backs in the country. This was supposed to be the headlining matchup. Waymo versus Haynes. Both of them get injured in this game, end up being big losses. Luckily for USC, even though we're missing our first now, second, and half the running back room is injured currently. But walk-on King Miller apparently got it. All right, because he was looking like lightning, like prime D'Angelo Williams out there. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous to watch. 158 yards rushing and a touchdown for King in this game. He was great. Picked up right where Waymo left off after he went down with that ankle injury and just was cooking. Put this game away well and truly, if I'm being honest. As much as Makai and Jaden did what they did, Miller put this game away for USC offensively. And yeah, Lincoln likes to run the ball. All right, I know we all know about the Heisman winning quarterbacks, the number 1 overall picks, but he likes to run that ball. He likes to tote it. When he's got somebody that can tote it, he gonna tote it. And King showed me something in this game that I liked. Devon Tompkins also had 2 sacks. Bishop Fitzgerald with those 2 picks. Not both of Bryce. Bryce played a solid game. I won't put this on him. I think he's still got all the tools. He's a freshman. All right, he's a freshman facing some big time opponents. It's going to happen. I think these are necessary growing pains. I still have full faith in Bryce Underwood becoming who we expect Bryce Underwood to become one day. However, Jaden Davis, as much as I would love as he is from the 704, to rep him, he's a bum. He is a bum. 0 for 2 in either one of those picks. Not great. All right. So, yeah, for Michigan, need Haynes to be healthy. All right. He is what makes that offense goes. But USC, put some respect on their name. All right. Put some respect on their name. The only team to beat USC this year was Illinois. They went on to face Ohio State. And, well, OSU went and proved why they were the number one team in the country. And it's that defense. All right. Yeah, they put 34 points on the board. JJ had his moments saying – I keep seeing this Saints the best quarterback in the I don't know. Maybe one day I wouldn't rule it out. He's had a good start to his career, but he's also got the best receiving corps money can buy. So I just wouldn't go that. That's not what the tape is saying. So Saints a good quarterback though, but it wasn't like his finest game. Honestly, for the offense as a whole, they just found ways to get in the box. This defense is disgusting. We said this when they played Texas, but Ohio State's defense will be as much as JJ is that guy. We cannot emphasize it enough. He is exactly who they say he is. Cardinal Tate is exactly who they say he is. Saying can hoop. He's a baller. But as much as those guys are guys, this defense will be the reason if Ohio State repeats this year. This will be the reason. All right, that defense is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I don't think anybody's made more money this year than Arvell Reese. He has been a superstar from game 1 to game now here in week 7. He has been a superstar. 9 tackles, 1.5 sacks for him in this game. He was wrecking all types of havoc, constant pressure on Altemeyer. They ended up having 6 sacks as a team. It was great. DI had 3 PDs. We don't even got to talk about Caleb Downs. He's taken off half the field. It is an incredible defense Matt Patricia is working with. He's cooking. All right, he is cooking. Even though Illinois put up 16, which is honestly abnormal for this Ohio State team, they are cooking, okay? That is what makes this Ohio State team as dangerous as they are, as much as they have arguably what many people believe might be the most talented or the best prospect in football on the offensive side of the ball. It's this defense that makes it go. Buckeyes still on top. Oregon versus Indiana. It feels weird calling this a major Big Ten matchup, but here we are, all right? Here we are. Going into Autzen, you hear about all the stuff, and I'm not going to lie, this was so satisfying. Sig, what do you have for me? They need to build a statue. All right, get the statue commission, get it ready. All right, because you need to build it. Because he has brought Indiana to prominence. And ladies and gentlemen, they have a top 5 road win after this week, 30-20. They get the win here. Fernando Mendoza played a very solid game. He outplayed. Again, this was arguably the top 2 prospects quarterback-wise in the draft at this point, right? Mendoza versus Dante Moore. And we found out that Mendoza's got something. I don't know if he's elite or a future superstar in the league or anything, but he's got something there, okay? Especially when he's going to Elijah Surratt, who had 8 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Dante Moore, on the other hand, don't got it right now. He don't. He played a couple of good games against a couple solid opponents and played well against Penn State, but Penn State's not that solid of an opponent. We're going to get to that. And we started anointing him once again. Another guy from that class we started anointing prematurely, and he got exposed. He got exposed in this game. He was not ready. The lights were way too bright for Dante Moore. He had an awful game. 2 picks in this game for him. He had 186 yards passing. Did throw that 1 touchdown, but like I said, 2 picks, 2 very costly picks late. He was not good in this game. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. He was not good in this game. Aiden Fisher in that defense. Aiden Fisher, 13 tackles, 1 sack in this game. 1.5. But they were giving him all types of problems. All right? All types of problems. He is not ready. He is not the one. Maybe eventually, but right now he is not the one. Indiana. All right? Dangerous. All right? Shout out to the boy D-Boyk as well. Texas versus Oklahoma. Who was going to win Red River? And I might be wearing red, but it was not going down for Oklahoma. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody in the build-up thought OU's got this in the bag. This is going to be easy. Boomer sooner. Yada, yada, yada. Nope. No. Absolutely not. No, it was no horns down in this game. All right, from start to finish, Texas took care of business, 23-6. We talked about how good this defense of Texas was supposed to be, and they haven't exactly been that at a large part of this season. As much as people want to put it on Arch or the O-line, as we have on this show, I think I've said it before, this defense has not been what they were supposed to be. They were that in this game. They were that. Malik Muhammad, 2 sacks. Colin Simmons, 2.5 sacks. Malik Muhammad, 2 interceptions. Colin Simmons, 2.5 sacks. The superstars were superstars finally for Texas. And that was key. That was vital. Absolutely vital. Now, of course, this was supposed to be the big grand return of John Mateer, alleged Heisman, potential front runner, yada yada candidate. I heard all this stuff about Mateer. All this stuff. And I kept looking at the numbers and I kept looking at what I've seen from him before the injury. And I'm like, is he really that guy? I don't really think he's that guy. And I'm glad that after this week in which he came back and you can say he was still injured, I think this is just what he is. After a 3-interception game in Red River, I think we can finally stop pretending that John Mateer is some superstar quarterback because he's not. He's not. He never was. The idea, maybe the potential, I think some people fell in love with, but he ain't. He's got that dog in him, I still believe, even though it didn't show up against the Longhorns. But he ain't that guy. All right, he's not this, top pick, Heisman kid. No. Sober Manziel, whatever we were putting him in conversations his name had no business being in. And he got rinsed. He got rinsed in this game. He was awful. He sucked. To be brutally honest, he sucked. I don't want to say the lights were too bright as he wasn't prepared. He didn't have it. He did not have it. He's not who y'all said he was. And I'm tired of pretending that he is something he is not. All right. Mateer's not that guy. Texas gets it done. Arch played a lot better game this week. This is the type of win that he can really build off of. The arm looked a lot better this week. I don't know. All right, maybe, didn't ask him to do too much. Maybe Sark got to him. I don't know what it was. But Arch played a lot better this week. Wasn't like the pivotal reason why they won this game. Like I said, it was the defense. But Mateer just stinking up the place. But Texas gets it done, gets back on track. Alabama is fully on track, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. Alabama is fully back on track, all right? Darth DeBoer needs to never let that black hoodie go. All right, he needs to permanently wear the black hoodie. That is your look now. All right, because Bama does get out of here with a 27-24 win. Mizzou tried to make it close at the end, but they just didn't. I mean, Bo Padubola was 167, 2 interceptions. Did have the 2 TDs, but 2 picks. He just wasn't. Deshaun Lee puts it away. You can take the Penn State out of the QB, but you can take the quarterback out of Penn State, but you can't take the Penn State out of the quarterback. That's what we learned. That's what we learned this week. All right. He just was not it. All right. It was the moment for him to show up and he couldn't. All right. Ty Simpson, on the other hand, come on down. Come on down, Ty. Come on down. All right. Because you showed us something against Florida State. And even though Florida State is taken, we about to get to that. You've been up. All right, you getting better every single week, making some great throws. All right, some great throws. You showing me something. I'm not sure I'm gonna call you the Heisman favorite. Like a lot of people are like, why isn't Tyson? Let's not make this a quarterback award. All right, let's not make this a quarterback award because none of these quarterbacks are really like stealing the show or anything. But all right, Ty's playing well. 200 yards, 3 touchdowns in this game. I think a big reason as well was the pressure. All right, the pressure they were able to get on Padubola. A lot of those very high, you guys don't remember these names if you've been around the recruiting space. LT Overton, Keon Keeley, these type of guys that were highly rated recruits, top 5 in the country. They showed up this week. They showed up this week for Bama, and that was a big reason why that defense was able to get the stops and force those turnovers and really get Padubola not comfortable. He didn't do the things that we've seen Bo do from Mizzou this year. Ahmad Hardy got shut down relatively well. So, yeah, the Alabama defense finally, showed up, showed some heart. The guys that are supposed to be stars were stars this week for Bama. Ryan Williams is still MIA. Whenever y'all find out where Ryan Williams is, let me know. Because we still haven't seen him in a while. Still haven't seen him in a couple weeks. All right, a couple weeks. But Darth DeBoer rolls on and Bama is back in business. Florida State, however, is cooked. All right, it is over. That little Cinderella run is done and over with. All right. Pittsburgh gets it done here. 34-31. Hinscheikel, I think that's how you say his name, has 321, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks though in this game. Tommy honestly outplayed him, 245 and 3 touchdowns. But this defense was fucking awful. All right, this was an embarrassment. All right, this was an embarrassment defensively. Even Earl Little, I'm not giving you any flowers this week. It was an embarrassing defensive performance from Florida State. Embarrassing, to be honest with you. I mean, let Pittsburgh jump on them and then just had no answer. Had no answer. I don't know if they bought into their own hype or what it was and just thought, oh, Tommy's going to save us. But yeah, that Florida State defense did not show up. Florida State defense did not show up in this game. Des Reed had 8 receptions, 155, and 2 touchdowns. Like I said, scorched trialing that secondary. Florida State had some success offensively, as you could tell with the scoreline. Dancy had 7 receptions, 133, and 2 touchdowns as the favorite target of Tommy today, or yesterday, should I say. But it was not enough. All right, it was not enough when the defense does not show up in the manner they did. Pittsburgh gets the win, and Florida State is in free fall. But with all of that said, they are still not as down bad as the team we're about to talk about. Nobody is as down bad as the Penn State Nittany Lions. It's OV. Northwestern beats them 22-21. They go 0-3 to start Big Ten play. Alar gets injured at the end of this game. He's done. His career in Penn State is over, which, depending on how you feel, probably a relief. All right, probably a relief, unfortunately. Even though it's never good to see somebody get hurt. But I know some Penn State fans that may have been celebrating that. P. Stone and Komolafe, I mean, easy work. Easy work for them. Easy work for that Northwestern backfield. And James Franklin, he didn't give it tarmac. He got next day, though. He got next day. Yeah, he's gone. $50 million buyout, they said, we're going to cash that in. James Franklin is gone at Penn State as of today. I think everybody saw this coming after this result. Not really a surprise. But wow, what a way to end that era. Where they were perpetually the benchmarker to the stars, as they say. They were the gatekeeper to the championship. You want to be a contender, you beat Penn State, then you're a real contender. If you can't beat Penn State, then you're not. All right? And he had them there, which is not a bad place to be. But for a team with the talent that Penn State had brought in this year especially, you have higher ambitions to eventually break through, and Franklin could not beat top 5 teams. He couldn't win big games, and now he can't even win the non-big games. Lose to UCLA and Northwestern back-to-back is done with. It is done with. It's over for you, and it was. All right, it was. And yeah, Penn State, it's going to be rough. It is going to be rough. I think they're about to get rinsed in the portal, to be honest with you. For the guys that aren't going to the league outright, and honestly, their seasons have probably been ruined, so a lot of those guys with high draft prospectus might just hit the portal. I think they are about to get rinsed. It's about to be open season on Happy Valley, regardless of who they bring in, unless it's like a super slam dunk. It's about to get ugly. It is about to get ugly for Penn State. We are seeing the downfall of the program, but Northwestern, good win. All right, good win. But yeah, James Franklin is up out of here. The Holy War is about to be insane. All right, Utah and BYU riding waves of momentum, looking good. It's about to be a good one. All right, Utah just beat the brakes off of ASU. To be fair, Levette, Sam was out. He was injured, so they had to play Jeff Sims. And I don't know why Jeff Sims is still allowed to play Division I football. So you know how that went. But yeah, Utah BYU should be a banger. Ole Miss survived Wazoo this week in a game that they've lost many, many times before. But I don't know, Lane and Gunn boys got it done. All right, they escaped yet again. And slowly keep creeping up the rankings. So we'll see. But yeah, Ole Miss just keeps finding ways to win. All right. And Deshaun Foster may have been the worst head coach in America. Because UCLA is, under Newhousel, and they figured it out. All right, they beat Michigan State 38-13 this week. So yeah, I don't know, but UCLA looking like they're back on track magically. So I don't know what Foster was saying or what he was doing, but it was completely wrong because the Bruins look somewhat competent now. But ladies and gentlemen, that was CFB. All right, let's talk about the WNBA. All right, finale. All right, last WNBA segment for a minute because, well, hey, that was it. All right, I was like I said last week, I was wrong. I was wrong, and that was easy. That was real easy for the Aces. All right, that was real easy. 97-86, they win here to complete the sweep of the Phoenix Mercury. Asia Wilson is the GOAT. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. At what point do we start the conversation? I feel like maybe the conversation is just she might be the GOAT. She might just be the GOAT. 3 chips, 4 MVPs, 3 championship MVP. Like this is the GOAT. This is the greatest player we've seen. Depoys, all W's, like whatever you need. All right, Asia's got it. 31 points here in game 3. And that's it. Or game 4, should I say. And that's it, like I said. All right, Aces, this was easy. All right, Kalia Copper, unfortunately, fouled out. She had a great game, though, 30. AT had a triple-double, not that it mattered. And yeah, that was that, bro. That was that. This is not going to be super elongated. Aces took care of business. Dynasty, 3 and 4 years, 3 and 4 with Becky as head coach. And yeah, what a run. Because they started this off horribly. We were talking about what happened to the Aces at the beginning of the season. And then they just flipped the switch and were like, you know what? We're Vegas. We're not losing. We are not losing. And they went on a rampage. All right. So, yeah, credit where credit's due. Jewel Lloyd has still never lost a WNBA Finals game. 3 sweeps, 3 chips. That's crazy. All right, so shout out to Jewel. First one here with the Aces for her. 4th chip for Chelsea, who also played a great game. And yeah, that's it. Aces to go. Aces get it done again. Entertainment. All right, let's talk about it. Gen V. Stan Edgar is back, baby. Giancarlo Esposito, I would watch him in anything, to be honest with you, like a lot of people. And yeah, I was very happy to see him return to Stan Edgar. Did not expect it. But yeah, interested to see what he's going to do with the kids. Of course, nothing can be peaceful. So Marie and Kate did escape to go confront Cypher or kill Cypher. Kate also wants to get her powers back. I think she's going to be super enhanced if Marie can heal her. So got some interesting things cooking up here. I wouldn't be surprised if Sister Sage makes another appearance. But yeah, I'm very interested to see where they're going with this story. Zoe is now growing up. She seems like a little bit of a psychopath, but she's, she's not adjusted, but, decent. She's not, completely a supervillain right now. So we'll see. But yeah, Stan is back and Gen V continues to cook. Peacemaker. Listen, it wasn't the worst finale ever, but it wasn't like anything crazy. I'm going to be honest with you. I low-key fell asleep during it, if I'm going to be blunt. But yeah, Flag has gone mad. He helps open up Salvation. And then he sends Peacemaker, he sends Chris into Salvation, this like prison world. So interested to see where they're going from that. I hear some New Frontier shouts, so maybe that's where Gun's going with Uni. I don't know. All right, it's kind of like a we'll see. Heard the Lanterns show is going to connect to this. So again, we'll see. Sasha Bordeaux, Batty, she has switched teams to the good guys. All right, so again, wasn't the craziest, best, more like wrapping up storylines kind of finale, but it wasn't awful. All right, I don't think it was awful. But that was that. Music this week, Skepta dropped alongside Finesse, dropped Sirens. It was solid. All right, nothing crazy. But it was solid. I don't think it was quite on the caliber of his stuff he made with Fred again earlier this year. But still some solid stuff from Skepta. DDG, I dropped his second album of the year called Mood. This was a lot more R&B based, a lot more lovey-dovey. It was okay. I'm not going to give it a rating, but it was okay. I didn't like it as much as I liked the early one. It didn't have as many standout songs as the other one. Smoke feat Gunna, No Smoke feat Gunna and No Dreads feat PBM were the best on the entire project. All right. Otherwise, there were definitely some skips. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I respect him for trying something different. Don't know if it landed, but I do respect him for trying to, branch out, show some versatility. But this one didn't hit as much as, Blame the Chat earlier this year. That was a surprise, heater. This one was about what people joke about with DDG. Let's talk about baseball. All right, it's been a great week for David Ortiz and a horrible week for me. But before we get to the AL side, let's talk about the NL. The Dodgers are headed back to the NLCS after taking care of the Phillies 3-1. Here in Game 4, they get it done 2-1 off Kekerine's wild throw. Roki Sasaki. He's back. All right, Roki is back. It feels like a cheat code. They have him in the bullpen, and he is just unhittable. He is currently unhittable. He is dominating right now. This is what we expected Roki Sasaki to be, is what he is doing right now out of the Dodgers bullpen and just taking over and eliminating games for opponents. It is petrifying for people to see that man come out of the bullpen right now. He is dominating. Low-key series MVP. Shout out to Roki because he is cooking. Good God. Dodgers, still my championship favorites. They will be taking on, in the NLCS, the Milwaukee Brewers, who took care of the Chicago Cubs. Not super surprised about this, but yeah, Contreras, Vaughn, who is just having a complete opposite rebound year after being just god-awful in Chicago with the White Sox. He is completely a different player now. Bryce Turing put the top off, and the Brewers get it done in 5. Playing well. Chorio's been hooping, but yeah, the Dodgers are the Dodgers. So I think this is where it ends for the Brewers. But hell of a season. All right, hell of a run so far. Can't rule them out. Toronto took care of the Yankees, unfortunately, 5-2. Yeah, man. Judge played about as well as you could. Unfortunately, it was wasted on the time when he was 2007 Braun and he had no help. All right, absolutely no help. Schlittler, even in this game, wasn't awful. Had his mistakes, but I have a lot of optimism for him still. But yeah, we just didn't have a team. I'm not really surprised. I would have loved to have beaten Toronto. So Ortiz and Vladdy couldn't have got off the way they did, but we didn't have a team this year. All right, we never, ever did, and I'm not surprised. All right, I'm not surprised by this result. Blue Jays and Vladdy are looking dangerous, though. All right, they are looking really, really dangerous. They would have to be, at least on momentum, the favorites to make it out of the AL. But I would not put them in pin. I wouldn't put them in marker because, ladies and gentlemen, the Seattle Mariners are back in the ALCS. They take care of the Detroit Tigers. Somehow live to fight another day against Tariq Skubal, who had 13 Ks and was looking like the best pitcher in the world. But then they took him out. And it went 15 innings, and Polanco hits a game winner, and that's all she wrote. All right, Detroit kind of screwed themselves. I'm not going to lie. I get you want to save Skubal. I get it, yada, yada, yada. But this is win or die. This is win or go home. You got to win this game. If he's cooking the way he is, leave him in. Until he says, I'm good, you got to leave Skubal in my opinion. Because, yeah, you put yourself in a situation where you gave up late and then got sent to, extras, and then it's anybody's game. And Seattle took care, and took advantage. And that was that, all right? Missed opportunity, in my opinion, from Detroit. But, yeah, Seattle having a great year. Cal still cooking. Julio is Julio. And, yeah, as much as Toronto has momentum, the Mariners look really good. They got this Team of Destiny thing going on. So we'll see, all right? We will see. All right, we'll see who wins. But, yeah, I still got the Dodgers and all this. But that was the Divisional Series. We have the CLS next. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the NFL. Quick water break. It started off a great week. It started off a great week 6 for me. Giants and the Eagles. Now, both of them are my ops, but of course the Eagles are just a little bit more fun to watch lose, as they are the defending champions. And also because I like Jackson. It's hard to not like Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo. I'm not going to lie to you. And also because they were doing this and it wasn't against my team. But listen, I don't know if their brains are going to be fully functional by the time they're 50, but they're going to be so exciting to watch these next couple of years, man. Dart and Scat got it. They have taken over New York. And the Giants get the upset win over the Eagles, 34-17. Dart goes for 253 and 2 touchdowns. Scat goes for 98 and 3 touchdowns, the hat trick. And, yeah, Burns, Spider-Man, 2 sacks, all right, currently leads the league. It was a complete performance for the Giants. They look like a different team. A completely different team. Once again, like I said last week, it sucks that Malik Neighbors is not here because this would be so much fun. All right, even as a Cowboys fan, me saying this, they would be so much fun, and they're fun as is. This looks like a dangerous team. This is the best 2-4 team I've ever seen in my life. All right, certainly the most entertaining. But yeah, Dart and Scat are just different. All right, I did not expect Dart. Obviously, I knew he could run. I knew he was athletic. I knew that was a part of his game. I did not think he was going to be as much of a threat with his legs as he has become. He is a serious, serious threat with his legs. A problem. The boy is a problem on his legs. As much as he can throw that ball, throw the pill, when he's towing it, it's dangerous. All right, it can get real wicked. It got real wicked here for the Eagles. And, of course, Scott is a madman. He's an absolute madman, a lunatic. He was trucking Cooper DeJean for the love of the game. He is a different breed. All right, and then he'll backflip and hit a swim on you. Like, it's crazy. All right, madman. Absolute madman. Jalen Hurts. I can't exempt you from the slander anymore. All right, he's such a... he has to be a top 10 quarterback, but he's not like, it's just something that's not there. It's something that's not there. By the way, 4 straight tush pushes, terroristic. It worked, but absolutely terroristic. But Hurts just hurts to watch sometimes. No pun intended. The missed throws, the decision making, it's off. He plays well enough to be a top 10 guy, like I said, but he misses certain things that just like makes your brain just like rattle. But yeah, Dallas Goedert had a great day though. 9 receptions, 110 and a touchdown. But that was about it for the Eagles. That defense, that front seven is supposed to be great, and they got cooked. All right, there were so many long drives with just 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards for the Giants. And that is not what is supposed to be happening to the Philadelphia Eagles. That's supposed to be the strength of their team, and they are getting gashed for 5 yards every just running, being outfit, a team being more physical than the Eagles. It's not supposed to happen. It's really not supposed to happen, but here we are. All right, here we are. Quinyon Mitchell being out is a big loss because of Dory and Keely Ringo both suck. But yeah, the Giants get it done. All right, they absolutely get it done. Dart and Scat have changed that culture. We got again, international games, completely just terroristic football. All right, this was horrible. Broncos and the Jets, 13-11. The Jets had 45 pass yards in this game. Now, to be fair, Broncos defense is elite, maybe the best defense in the league at this point. But God, this was a awful, horrendous game to send to London. All right, like it's like, oh my gosh, it's just I don't know what it is about the international air, but just some of the worst games. All right. Horrible game. That's all I'm going to say about that. The Rams take care of Baltimore, who were still in free fall. Like I said last week, Baltimore's cooked, so no surprise here. But honestly, bad game for the Rams. All right. With Puka getting injured, hopefully it's not major. But yeah, he went down. They did get the win, though, 17-3. The Chargers in Miami went back and forth. All right, went back and forth. Jay Herbo got his nickname back this week. 264, 2 touchdowns for him. Closed it out, helped get himself in position. Shout out to Ladd on that last possession. The Dolphins just found a way to lose this one. All right, they absolutely just found a way to lose this one. Tua turned the ball over. Was in full effect. This week. 3 picks in this game for him. A-Chain tried. All right, 128 and 2 touchdowns. I mean, he tried. But Tua and this Dolphins defense just were like, no, we do not want to win. We are tanking. We want to suck. We do suck. We are here to lose. And they did just that. So credit where credit's due. Vidal, who was, everybody's trying to figure out who's going to be the running back that fills in for Hampton. Ended up being Vidal. He balled out. 124 in this game. Like I said, Ladd did his thing. 7 receptions, 100 yards, and a touchdown. And Dicker walks it off. And the Chargers get a much-needed win in a back-and-forth game versus the Dolphins. Drake May is a bad man. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. He is a bad man. 25-17, they get the win here over the Saints. He's getting better every week. 261 and 3 touchdowns for him in this game. Him and Boutte were linked up. Last week it was Diggs. This week it was Boutte. 5 receptions, 93 yards, and 2 touchdowns. A little bit of a homecoming, of course, for Boutte being back in New Orleans. LSU legend. What? I won't say Boutte was a legend, but he was a very good player at LSU. But yeah, Drake May, he is looking good. He is looking like the franchise quarterback the Patriots have been waiting on post Brady. He is looking like that. Okay, exactly what we expected from Drake. Pats get a W. Indiana and Arizona. All right. And listen, the Cardinals had the lead for a lot of this game. All right, Kyler, by the way, out for this game. But yeah, the Cardinals looked like they were going to pull off the upset. But then Indianapolis were just like, okay, let's lock in real quick, close this out. Jonathan Taylor is an MVP candidate. I do want to say that. 123 and a touchdown. He has been the best running back in the league this year. 2 sacks from Pay. And yeah, Colts still in their winning ways. And of course, we are here. And I cannot believe we lost to the Carolina Panthers. I almost went to this game. I would have run on the field. We would not be recording this because they'd be bailing me out of jail because I ran on the field. I hate my favorite team so much. I hate this team. I once again hate this team. They are stealing joy from my life. It is a good thing that I am so almost checked out of this team, or it'd be much worse for me. It'd be much worse for me. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Rico Dowd continues to be going off. Like, I don't know what tempo he's in right now, but hey, he done figured it out. 239 total, 200 plus from scrimmage for back-to-back weeks from him now. But yeah, like I said, 239 total, 183 rushing. He was again, he was the guy. Again, complete revenge game for him. Perfect setup, and then he pulled it. I have no words for this defense. Bryce had 3 touchdowns. I got no words for this defense. None. But trading Micah was the right choice. Oh my. Ooh, not that Micah would have solved everything, but I hate this team, bro. How do you lose to the Panthers in the Big 25? And we're supposed to be a decent team. Like, come on, bro. All of the slander. All right, Dak had 3 touchdowns. Pickens was great again. 9 receptions, 168 and a touchdown. He is having a hell of a year. Been a great pickup. But the Cowboys defense sucks. All right, the Panthers open season. I'm disgusted, all right? Absolutely disgusted. Seattle took care of Jacksonville. Sam Darnold continues to ball out. 295, 2 touchdowns. Jason is still a guy. 8 receptions, 162 and a touchdown for one of the best in the game. Dexter Lawrence decided to rub it in for all of us Cowboys fans with 2.5 sacks. And honestly, Jacksonville had a chance to win this game, to be honest. Had plenty of chances. However, it felt like every receiver was hell-bent on selling Trevor Lawrence in this game. He played very, very good. Put the ball where it needed to be, but the Jaguars had 50 drops in this game. It was, as a former wide receiver, disgusting to watch. All right, it was absolutely disgusting. Completely sold T-Law. Completely sold him. Jags could have kept their winning ways, but instead, like I said, sold T-Law way too many times in this game, and the Seahawks are able to get out of there with a W. And yeah, the Steelers took care of the Browns. I'm not even going to go to the score of that. That was still going on, but nobody really cares. A-Rod hopefully played a little bit better this week, I think. But yeah, Steelers took care of the business. No surprise. I'll see you for the 4 o'clocks. All right, so we're back for those 4 o'clocks. So let's get to it. All right, let's get straight to it. Not too much to talk about. All right, we got 2 Monday nights this week, so you know how that goes. Oakland and Tennessee. Listen, Tennessee, that was beautiful last week. That's your first win, yada, yada, yada. Oakland's defense was not going to let that happen again. Max Crosby specifically was not going to let that happen again. He had 2 sacks. They had 5 total. Cam was under constant pressure. I was going to say not his finest game, but this is pretty much being average for him, to be honest, because this is what the Titans are. All right, that fluke that happened last week was purely a fluke. Back to the usual. Raiders took care of business, 20-10. Tampa Bay and San Fran. Baker Mayfield might be the MVP. It's time. I mean, we've been talking about it, but it's time. All right, he had 256 and 2 touchdowns to lead the Bucks over the 49ers, and it was a close one. All right, it was closer than that score would make you think. He had to make some very big throws, some very big first downs. Some classic Baker Mayfield has more dog in him than anybody on the planet type plays to win this game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He is that guy. All right, he is that guy. Diaby and that defense, did their thing at the end. 2 sacks, picked him back off twice. But Baker Mayfield is that guy. Also, unfortunately for my fantasy team, maybe if you were watching this for your fantasy team, or if you're better, Emeka got hurt in this game. All right, he hurt his hamstring. Hopefully it's nothing too serious and it was preventive. But I'm not optimistic because most of the happiness in my life has just been absolutely gone to shreds today. So yes, all right, we will see what happens. But yeah, Emeka's TD streak is dead because he pulled his hammy, or we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, Baker had a one-man show it, but gets it done for the 49ers. Also prayers up to Fred Warner. Looked like he broke his ankle. Probably done for the season. So we'll see what happens there. Green Bay takes care of Cincinnati. This one was a lot closer than people probably expected. Joe Flacco continues to be a blunt that is being pushed around the AFC North. He's currently at Cincy for some reason. But yeah, he didn't do too much of anything. He did get the ball to Jamar Chase, which is always a good thing. 10 receptions, 94, and a touchdown. And Chase made it look interesting late. Made it a little bit uncomfy for Green Bay, who just are Green Bay. All right, that's the best way to describe the Packers this year. But ultimately, they're able to hold on and get it done. Josh Jacobs was the biggest reason why. He had 150 yards total and 2 tutties all on the ground for those touchdowns. But yes, Packers get it done. It was, a little hot and cold, which is kind of part of the course with the Green Bay Packers this year. But yeah, Cincinnati continues to fall down the well of despair. But to nobody's surprise, they take this L. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, that means we are at the Roundup. All right, the NHL is back. Okay, the season is underway. Get your rookies ready. Demidov, Schaefer scored in his first game, I believe. It's going to be an interesting one. All right, it's going to be an interesting one. A lot of people wondering what's going to happen with Crosby's future. How much more time do we have with Crosby and Ovi? Can the Oilers finally break through and win the chip? Are the Panthers a dynasty? We have plenty of storylines to go around. But yes, the NHL is in fact back. WWE had Crown Jewel. And, you know, something big must have happened if we're talking about the WWE here on the Featured Exchange. And, well, John Cena and AJ Styles squared off for the last time, and it was an absolute banger. All right, it was an absolute banger. Honestly, it was a good card. It was a good card. Credit where credit's due. Shout out to Perth. Held it down as they always do, and it was a good time. All right, so, yeah, shout out to AJ and Cena. That was a beautiful, very nostalgic. As a kid that grew up watching wrestling, that was a beautiful, beautiful match. And more of that, all right, more of that as we come to the end, sadly, of Cena's retirement tour. That has been very controversial, to say the least. UFC had a fight night headlined by Charlie Olives, who got yet another submission win. Ilya, you are a monster because it seems like all of these people you beat are still not washed. So you just must be that guy, all right? Tapora. Losses, Tapora wins are aging like finest of wine right now. So we'll see. But yeah, Charlie Olives back in the one column. NBA preseason is underway. Rookies are looking good. All right, rookies are actually looking good. Cooper Flag balling out for the Mavericks. They might be dangerous. All right, I'm not going to lie. Nico may have been blessed. All right, well, we knew he got blessed because he got Coop, but he may have been blessed. All right, the Mavs look fake decent right now, so we'll see. Wemby looking spooky. All right, Wemby is looking very spooky after what he did in the offseason. We'll see what happens, though. And Kylian Mbappe, best player on the planet, has scored in 10 straight matches. Yeah, he's on a different type of timing. This definitely feels like a Ballon d'Or year, but we got a long season to go. All right, we have a very, very long season to go, but Mbappe is on that timing right now. All right, he is the best player on the planet. Haaland is still also scoring at a rapid rate, and Roy might finally make the World Cup, which is good for him and Odegaard and the rest of that generation that somehow have not been able to play any important tournaments, which is sucked because they're some of the best players in the world, you know, Martin and obviously Erling. So that's a lot of fun. That's what's going on in soccer. I think UCL will be back next week. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, for episode 271, I hope you guys enjoyed. October has been a movie as we reach the midway point. Let's see what happens in the back half. But for now, Ocho signing off.